Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video we're going to learn how to make Indian booties, and this is a very easy project to make because what we want to do is just make a simple crochet booty, and what gives the final touch to this crochet project is the fringes that we're going to add at the end. So let's start. The yarn that I'm using is 55% cotton and 45% acrylic, and because it's pretty thin, I'm using 2 strands and a 4mm crochet hook. So let's start, and I'm gonna make my sole a little bigger than I usually do, so I'm gonna start with 15 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What we want to be aware of when we're making when we're crocheting with 2 strands of yarn is that when we're crocheting, that we're picking up both of the yarns, because sometimes we might pull through only the 1 strand of yarn, so it might damage our work, so we want to be careful. So I have 15 chains, and because we're starting our sole with single crochet, that means that we're going to have a total of 14 stitches to work with. And since we have 14 stitches to work with, I'm going to take the first stitch and the last one for the increases. So that means that we're going to have a total of 12 stitches in the middle. So let's start by skipping the first chain and single crochet on the second chain. So this first single crochet is where we're going to make increases on the next rows. So we start counting our 12 stitches from the second stitch that we're gonna make now. So let's start. So we want 1 single crochet on the next 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 single crochet in the middle, 1 single crochet in the beginning, and this is our last chain stitch. So we want to start our increases, and we're going to make 5 single crochet in the same stitch, in the same last chain over here. We want 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet. So now we see that our work has turned on the opposite side of the chains. So now we're going to work on the opposite side of our chain stitches. So whatever we do on the one side of our chains, we want to do on the other side. It's like an equation. So since we have 12 single crochet in the middle on the top, we want to have 12 single crochet in the middle on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we have this last stitch over here where we're gonna end up by crocheting increases again. So over here we have 5 single crochet on our increase, because over here it's where the toes are going to be. Since on this side it's for our heel, that means that we want less increases, so we're going to make 2 single crochet in the last stitch, plus the 1 single crochet that we started our row. We have a total of 3 single crochet increases for our heel and 5 single crochet increases for the toes. Slip stitch on the first single crochet for this row, chain 2, and half double crochet on the first single crochet. So the first single crochet in the chain 2 gives us our first increase, which is 2 half double crochet. And now we want to make 12 half double crochet in the middle again, 1 stitch on every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we have come to the now we're at the same spot where we made the increases on the previous row. So we want to make increases on this row, and we're gonna make 2 half double crochet on each one of the next 5 stitches. So that's a total of 10 half double crochet. First stitch, 1, 2, second stitch, 3, 4, third stitch, 5, 6, fourth stitch, 7, 8, and fifth stitch, 9, 10. So since we had 12 half double crochet in the middle over here, we want to make 12 half double crochet in the middle on this side too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now we have 2 remaining stitches where we're going to make increases. So we're going to make 2 half double crochet on each of the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and our second stitch, which is the last for this row, 3 and 4, plus the 2 increases that we started our row with. We have a total of 6 increases on this side, which is the heel, and 10 increases on this side, which is our toes. So put my hook on the second chain from the 2 that I started my row with, slip stitch, chain 2, and half double crochet on the same space where I just chained my 2. So in the same space where we did our 2 chains, half double crochet, that's our first increase. And now, and this goes for all the crochet soles that we make for kids. When we do our third row, we want to have the total of the stitches that we had in the middle, which in this case were 12, plus the first 5 stitches from our increases. So 12 plus 5, we're going to have we're going to make 1 stitch on every stitch for the next 17 stitches. So let's say you had 9 stitches in the middle. That would be 9 plus 5, the first 5 from our increases. You would have 14 stitches before you made an increase. So let's make 12 plus 5, 17 total stitches. So one stitch on every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So now we want to make increases. So we're going to make 2 half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So first stitch, 1, 2, second stitch, 3, 4, and third stitch, 5, 6. So now whatever we did on the top side of our sole, we're going to make on the bottom side. So now we're going to make 17 half double crochet again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And now we have our remaining 2 stitches. So we want to make increases in each of the last 2 stitches. So 1, 2 on our first stitch, and the second stitch, 3, 4. Plus the 2 increases that we made in the beginning of the row, we have a total of 6 increases on this side, and a total of 6 increases on the other side. Put my hook on the second chain from the 2 that I made in the beginning of this row and slip stitch, chain 1. So this is how our sole looks like. And now we're going to start with our first row. We have a total of 46 stitches, 17 on the one side, 17 on the other side. That's 34. 6 the increase is 40, and 6 increases on the other side, total of 46. So what we want to do now, in order to make the sole look separate from the rest of the shoe, we want to have this outline over here. We're going to grab the back loop from each stitch. So instead of putting my hook on the stitch as we would normally, and we have the back loop and the front loop, well, in this case I have 2 loops for each one because I use 2 strands. So I want to take out my hook and place it in the middle of these 2 and grab the back loop in the middle of both of the loops and grab the back loop. So we want to make 1 stitch on every stitch for the next 46 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and keep going until we have a total of 46 double crochet on our first row. So at this point we have finished our first row with a total of 46 double crochet. Slip stitch on the first double crochet that we made for this row, chain 1, turn my work. So we're going to start the second row now, and we see how our shoe has started to build up. We're going to start our second row by turning our work, and now we're going to be crocheting our stitches regularly. We're going to put our hook regular in each stitch. We're not grabbing the back loop anymore. We only do that to separate the sole from the rest of the shoe. So we have this outline over here. So now we're gonna make one stitch on every stitch again, a total of 46 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep going until we have a total of 46 double crochet again. So we have 46 double crochet at the end of this row. Slip stitch on the first double crochet that we made for this row, chain 1, and turn our work. So we have made 2 rows after we finished our sole, and this is enough space for the toes to fit in here. So we're gonna start decreasing now, so our boot is gonna start forming up. What we want to do is turn our work this way, so we have our toes over here and our heel on the left side. Turn upside down your work and fold it right in the middle, and the middle is over here where we have our first row with the first increases that we made. So we fold it in the middle, turn our work, and we want to place our hook on about 2/3 of our shoe, and we want to have about 24 stitches because that's the amount that I put on this boot over here, the amount that I decreased, sorry. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we want one less stitch. So we're going to place stitch markers here where we're going to start decreasing, and here where we're going to end our decreases. So here goes our first stitch marker. If you don't have stitch markers, you can use strings of yarn. And here we're going to put our second stitch marker. So this is our work. And we're going to start making one stitch on every stitch until we come up to the point where we have our first stitch marker. This means that we're going to start decreasing. So let's start our row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches, and now our next stitch is where our stitch marker is at. So I'm going to take out the stitch marker, and we're gonna be crocheting 2 double crochet together. So we're gonna be decreasing 2 stitches every time. So let's put our hook on our next double crochet, wrap around yarn, pull through 2 loops, and we have 2 loops on our hook. Wrap around yarn, put my hook on the next double crochet, wrap yarn, pull through 2 loops, and now we have a total of 3 loops on our crochet hook, and we have 1, 2 double crochet over here. So wrap up the yarn and pull through all through 3 loops. So this 2 double crochet now counts as 1. So wrap my yarn and put my hook on the next double crochet, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2 loops, wrap the yarn around, put my hook on the next double crochet, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2 loops. Now we have a total of 3 loops on our hook. Wrap the yarn around, pull through 3 loops. So these 2 double crochet now counts as 1 as well. So we're going to continue decreasing until our last stitch that we're going to decrease is this one that we have the stitch marker on. So decrease the next 2 double crochet. So we had 8 double crochet in the beginning and 3 that we created with the decreases, 11. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 12. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 13. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 14. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 15. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 16. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 17. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 18. Decrease the next 2 stitches, 19. And decrease our last 2 stitches, 1 and the one where we have our stitch marker. So we had 8 double crochet in the beginning and 12 that we have left from decreasing because we had a total of 24 stitches, and because we decreased, now we have those 24 came out to be 12 double crochet. So 8 plus 12, we have 20 double crochet so far, 21, 22. Now that we're making 1 stitch until we finish our row. So we have 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and our last stitch, 34. Slip stitch on our first double crochet for this row, chain 1 and turn our work. This is how our booty looks like so far. because we decreased, it started going inside, so it started closing. So we turned our work, and now in this row, it's going to be our fourth row after our sole. We're going to be making one stitch on every stitch, and this helps us to see how our work has really, how much our work has really decreased. Plus, it makes it look better because if we're making decreases on every row, holes are going to start forming up on where we have our decreases, and it's going to look ugly. So we want our work to look nice. So one stitch on every stitch, a total of 34. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep going until we have a total of 34 double crochet. So we have a total of 34 double crochet, slip stitch on our first double crochet for this row, chain 1, turn our work, and now we're going to make decreases. And because I don't want to have many rows of decreasing, since my 24 stitches decreased down to 12 on the row before, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be decreasing 3 stitches at a time instead of 2 that we did on the row before. So after my 8th double crochet, because as we recall from the row before, we made 8 double crochet and then we started decreasing. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and from my 9th stitch we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stitches that we're going to be decreasing because our 24 stitches turned out to be 12. So from where my stitch marker starts to where it ends, we have a total of 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. Now from the 9th stitch we're going to start decreasing by decreasing 3 stitches at a time. So I'm going to put my hook on the next stitch, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2 loops, wrap the yarn around, go to my next stitch, wrap the yarn around, pull 3 loops, wrap the yarn around and go to the next, which is the 3rd stitch, wrap the yarn around, go through 2 loops. So now we have 4 loops instead of 3 because we're going to be decreasing 1, 2, 3 stitches together. Wrap the yarn around, pull through 4 loops. So now my 3 double crochet came down to 1. So this is how we're going to be decreasing until we come up to where we have our stitch marker. So go to the next double crochet, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2 loops, wrap the yarn around, go to the 2nd stitch, wrap the yarn around, go pull through 2 loops, wrap the yarn around, go to the 3rd stitch, wrap the yarn around, go through 2 loops. So now we have 4 loops on my hook. Wrap the yarn around, go through all of these 4 loops. So these 3 double crochet came down to 1 also. So we have a double crochet for in the beginning, 1 double crochet and 1 double crochet over here. We have a total of 10 so far. So go to the next double crochet, pull through 2 loops, go to the second double crochet, pull through 2 loops, go to the third double crochet and pull through 2 loops. We have 4 loops on our hook. So this is my third double crochet, and I'm going to be doing my fourth and last decrease, 1, 2, 3 stitches. So wrap the yarn around, go to the first double crochet, go through the first 2 loops, go to the second double crochet and go through first 2 loops, go to the third double crochet and go through the first 2 loops. We have a total of 4 loops on our hook. Wrap the yarn around, go through all these 4 loops. So we had 8 double crochet in the beginning, 9, 10, 11, 12 so far, and now we're going to be making 1 stitch on every stitch until we go to the end. So we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and my last stitch, 26. Slip stitch on our first stitch, our first double crochet for this row, chain 1, turn my work, and this is how my shoe looks like at this point. What I'm going to do now is make 1 double crochet all around on each stitch, a total of 26 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep going until we have a total of 26 double crochet at the end of this row. So we have a total of 26 double crochet at this point. Slip stitch on the first double crochet for this row, chain 1, turn my work. This is how my shoe looks like at this point. What I'm going to do now is make 1 single crochet on every stitch, a total of 26 single crochet, because I'm not going to be decreasing anymore. I'm at the end of my shoe, so we're finishing up by making 1 round of single crochet all around. If you like, you can make you can keep going and with double crochets until your booty is a little longer, a little bigger, by making a few more rows of 26 double crochet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it this big, this tall. So let's make 1 last row of single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and our last stitch 26. Slip stitch in the first double crochet for this row, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the loop, and tighten up. So what we want to do now is secure our yarns. Turn my booty inside out. So I was securing these 2 strings of yarn while I was working my booty sole. So what I have left is to secure this yarn over here that we just finished our booty. And then we're going to see how we're going to be making the strings, the fringes. So what we want to do is sew in the yarn on the back stitches, on the back loops of our single crochet. And we want to make sure that our needle is not going through the front loops because it's not going to look right. So we're trying to grab the back loops. See how you can see the needle in the front? That means that the yarn is going to be going through all the back loops. While you're holding your shoe, pull to tighten it up. If you pull it too much and your shoe crinkles up, what you want to do is just open it up like this and it's going to be fine. So we're turning our shoe on its right side. And what we want to do now is create the fringes. So in order to create the fringes, I have this tool over here that I bought from the yarn shop. And what I want to do is wrap my yarn around 13 times because I have a total of 26 stitches to 26 total fringes that I want to make. So while I'm going to be wrapping around this tool over here, when I'm done, I'm going to cut my yarn on the top and on the bottom because if I only cut the bottom, these fringes are going to be too long for the shoes. If you make an adult size booty, Indian booty, you can make longer fringes, but because this one is for baby, we want to make this small. So I'm going to cut the top part and the bottom part, and I'm going to fold this in half. So this is going to be a total of 1 fringe wrapped in half. So I have already wrapped around my yarn once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I'm going to cut my yarn at the end over here, and now I want to hold my yarn tightly from the one side and on the other, pulling it down, and I'm going to cut it right here in the middle. Make sure that you don't let go yet. Turn it on the other side, hold it tightly, and pull it down and cut right in the middle again. So this way all your fringes have the same size. So pull it out, and now we have all of our fringes, and I'm using 2 strings of yarn for each one of my fringes. You can use more than 2 strings to make it look richer. So what I'm going to do is wrap my yarn in half, fold it in half, and I'm taking my crochet hook and I'm going from the inside out on each stitch, put my yarn on my crochet hook, pull through the stitch, and now we have a loop on our hook. Grab the strings of yarn and pull them through the loop carefully, so you grab all of them. So tighten up, and we have our first fringe. Now we're going to go to the next stitch, and we're going to keep doing the same thing until we finish all of our stitches. Fold it in half, put it on to our hook, pull through the stitch, and now we have our loop. Grab all the strings of yarn and pull them carefully through the loop and tighten it up. So we're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to turn off my camera and continue until we finish. So fold it in half. We have our crochet hook on the next stitch. Put the strings on the crochet hook, pull them through the stitch. Now we have our loop, and grab the strings of yarn and pull them through the loop and tighten it up. So now we have done our first 3 fringes. Keep going all around until we have covered up all the stitches, and I'm going to turn on my camera and see how our Indian booty looks like. So our pair of Indian booties is ready. What I did, I put some tissue paper in here to make it stand better. This is how our booties look like on the back and on the front. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and you found it helpful, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment under the video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.